Hi, ladies. Thank you for joining me. And this week I'm joined by the lovely Alyx Coble-Frakes. So thank you, Alyx. I'm going to pass you over and you can introduce yourself. That would be great.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Super thrilled. This is going to be a ton of fun. Again, my name's Alyx Coble-Frakes. I am the founder of Fully Aligned Coaching. So I'm a holistic health and wellness coach, starting my own business, and I'm super excited to be here.
Amazing. Thank you. So tell us a bit about your story and how you got to be here.
Yeah, so I think often when we're entrepreneurs, it kind of starts off as this first for me and then for others. I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but I kind of had this health crisis in 2015.
Okay.
Yeah. So I came back from the Peace Corps. I was a Peace Corps volunteer. I lived in Peru for 2 years. I came back and I was heavier than I'd ever been in my life. I was depressed. I had anxiety. I was eating emotionally. I had all of these issues. And then I kind of had this cosmic storm. So I had all of that going on. Found out that my grandma was diagnosed with cancer about 2 months after I came back. And then I got in a horrible car accident. Like I flipped my car upside
down. Oh my goodness. One thing after another.
I know. It's because like the universe was like, hey, like pay attention to this. And I was like, no, I'm not going to pay attention. And then I was like, oh crap, I have to pay attention. Like I have to do something. So I started this, what turned into be this really lovely journey of health and wellness. I lost 40 pounds. I gained so much energy and confidence, and decided I was going to start my business finally. I have been called to the entrepreneurial lifestyle from a very young age. My family would always joke that I should be like a car salesperson or like do some type of business. They're like, you're so natural at talking to people and that sort of thing.
And that's it. At the end of the day, people buy people, and it's the personality that comes across, isn't it, with any business?
Yeah, absolutely. But I didn't have the confidence when I was struggling with so many health issues. So kind of when that came into alignment, it became easier and kind of opened up this door for me to look at really finally starting a business. And I had worked as a consultant for another company helping people lose weight. And I loved it. And it wasn't about the weight loss. It was about the vitality and the energy that came back and the fullness that people were experiencing in their lives after getting their health figured out.
Yes.
It was crazy to watch, and it was so empowering and inspiring. And I thought, hey, why don't I combine these two things, right? Like this idea of creating a business and being able to help people really come into full alignment with their wellness. And I was like, oh, brilliant. There it is. Got to do it.
Got it.
Done.
So when did you actually press go? When did you start? Is this very, very new, did you say?
Yeah. So again, I was working in this field since 2016, doing some consulting work, and it really hit play on my own business in January of this year. But it had been something that had been mulling around in my head for quite a while.
Awesome. So you sound like you're really enjoying it.
Yes, I love it. It's so fun to get to talk to people and really help them start to uncover what's been holding them back from living their best, most brilliant life.
So do you tend to work with people virtually all over the world or locally or?
Yeah, so far it's been people all over the world. I have a client in a different country. I have some all over the US. So it's been very virtual, which is really convenient because we don't always have time to go into an office.
Correct. Yeah.
Because that could take an extra hour just in drive time.
Exactly. Yeah. It does add on, doesn't it? In-person meetings. So it does make it so accessible, being able to jump on and have these virtual kind of calls, sessions, meetings, whatever.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it does make it so much easier. So what is it, if you had to kind of put the label on it, what do you love most about being able to work for yourself?
I would say I think I've been chronically unemployable. I don't know if any other entrepreneurs can feel like that. It's just, I am a big idea person. I like having this creative reign and being able to spend my time how I want to spend my time. And being a person who thinks like that can kind of hit against the system that already exists, right? Because bosses and supervisors want you to work within their structure and like, cool, your ideas are fine, but like, do this, like, this is your job.
Yeah.
And I always found that really frustrating. I'm like, well, we could be doing this better. Like we could be innovating. We could be trying something new. And when you're working for yourself, you get to do that. You get to implement new techniques. You get to see what works. Yeah. So that's what I love. I love that flexibility and freedom to be creative.
Awesome. And is there anything, I'm sure there is, but is there anything you find challenging about working for yourself?
I think the most challenging thing is this work calls you back to the broken parts of yourself. Like it shines a mirror on like your insecurities or the things that you've been struggling or wrestling with. And it gives you an opportunity then to start healing those parts, but it can be really challenging to keep getting confronted with your own insecurities. And I think that's something that actually derails a lot of businesses, especially in that first year, because you're like, oh, maybe I can't do this. This person can do it, but I can't. Maybe I'm not special. Maybe I don't have what it takes. Maybe I'm not talented enough. And so it kind of keeps shining this light on those pieces of yourself. And that can be really challenging to confront yourself in that way day after day.
Day after day. I think so many people struggle with exactly the same thing. And I think, to be honest, it stops a lot of people even ever starting their business. Procrastination, imposter syndrome. Yes. When who am I to be doing this? I think it stops people even starting.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what stopped me from starting for years.
Exactly. I toy around with things all the time, and then one day something will just snap in me, and I'll be like, right, I'm going ahead with that and seeing if it works out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And I've had enough businesses over the years to realize that not everything does go to plan, not everything works out, and that's absolutely fine as well. You learn from it and you grow from it, so that's great. But it is difficult sometimes just taking that kind of step, isn't it, and just doing it without knowing the outcome.
Yeah, it takes this level of resiliency and trust in yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be okay with not succeeding, and that's hard.
It is really hard. Yeah, definitely. And like we said, it just stops so many people from even starting in the first instance. So there's a tip for you. If you're looking at starting a business, do it anyway. Because none of us got the guarantees. We just maybe get to a stage where you have that bit more belief in yourself. And try to ignore all the negative Nellies in the head. Are there any tools or systems or apps or anything that you kind of rely on that you couldn't run your business without, that are really powerful for you to be able to run your business, especially because you run it virtually?
So something that's been helpful to me is I've been using, and I know there are many different ones that people can use, but in terms of organizing my content for all the different pages that I run, just like an Instagram, my business page, I have a group online, and then my personal page, which is kind of, honestly, it's a way to shine a light on my business, because I don't want to keep it, I want to keep some of my personal life personal. So my personal profile is actually kind of shining a light on business stuff too, which is what I've seen a lot of business people doing. But I use Buffer, and that kind of helps me even just like track and organize, and it puts everything into kind of a content calendar. So that's been super helpful. And then I also creating that type of content calendar for the groups that I like to post in online. Obviously, you can't do an automated push to someone's page, but having a structure of how you post in there and being mindful about that, it takes a little bit more work at the front end. But I found that to be extremely helpful later on in terms of keeping myself organized. And then another tool that I love to do speaking and do podcasts and do interviews and really share the message that way. So I've used Radio Guest List. They have a free newsletter, which can help you connect to people who are looking.
I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, it's awesome.
I'm going to make a note of that. Radio Guest List, did you say?
Yeah. So it's a great one if you are looking to be a guest and getting started. I mean, you have a beautiful podcast going on, beautiful show, but I'm not ready to start my own thing, maybe in the future, but it's been good to be able to connect with people who already are doing awesome shows and bring them some great content to their listeners. So those are two things that for me are so important to kind of keep
Definitely. Getting yourself out there and becoming more visible and getting on more people's radar. And like you said, connecting more people is really where it's at, I think, when you're in business anyway.
Consistency and visibility is like the name of the game, because
that is what I say to clients day in, day out. I use those words. They're so overused in my own brain. I literally say, all about consistency, all about visibility. And those two words are probably the most overused terms that come out of my mouth.
But it's so true, because if you think about it, we are bombarded as humans daily with like millions of messages, maybe not millions, thousands of messages, right? And if you are not showing up for your people consistently, you're going to get lost in the crowd. So you have to show up on the days you don't want to show up. You have to keep showing up consistently.
I was saying to somebody yesterday as well, even when you think you're just talking to yourself, you rarely are. Normally someone's checking you out. And the amount of messages I get, or just out of the blue kind of messages or calls saying, you've been really inspiring me and I've been following your journey, and I've absolutely I didn't know they existed. They weren't on my radar because they haven't necessarily interacted. So I think it's really important to keep showing up even when you think you're talking to yourself as well, because you never know who actually you are inspiring or motivating or whatever to take the next step. So it is just as important to, like you said, to be consistent even when you're not feeling it or you don't think anyone's watching, because inevitably somebody is somewhere, and you never know when they're going to start anyway, and scroll down and see what you've got to offer. And we live in a world of kind of stalkers, don't we, where everyone goes and checks everybody out now, and the first thing we do is look at their social media channels. So I think it's super important to maintain visibility and stay consistent on the channels that you want to show up on, and making sure you do show up. So yeah, I completely agree. So obviously you're quite kind of high vibe from chatting to you. What is it that you do that keeps you super motivated, especially if you're having a bit of a down day where you're not feeling as great? What is it you do to get yourself in that kind of zone?
So I've started to hear this lately that, and I have a business coach, and something that she tells me is that confidence is a muscle. We tend to think of confidence as people are just like, they're born with it, or they're born with this energy. You're like, oh man, why can't I be like that person?
Yeah, I wish I had that person's confidence. Yeah.
Right. But it is sincerely a muscle that you have to build. So when I get in those spaces, I love journaling. I find that it brings me back to myself, and being able to kind of dump out and release some of those patterns that we get ourselves stuck into. And I also do the morning pages. There's a book called The Artist's Way. And so they talk about just doing 3 morning pages, writing flow of consciousness every morning. And I have found that has released so many of those thoughts that just go around and round and round, right? And it has just really been so amazing to connect with myself in that way in the morning. And I find it centers my work for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
The other thing is just like having fun. Like I have to have fun, or else what is the point of starting a business, right? We get into this trap. Yeah, we get into this trap as entrepreneurs, I think, of working too much. And we're like, well, this is not the point. We want the lifestyle as well that comes with the freedom. But if you're not free, if you're not doing anything fun, you're missing a big part of the puzzle, and you're going to get burnout.
Exactly. I spoke to another lady this morning, and we had the same kind of conversation. And as much as, especially in our industry, you see a lot of 7-figure, 6-figure, with very much emphasis on the financial outcome, which is brilliant. But I think there needs to be more emphasis on being happy and the freedom, and whatever it is works for you, what your values are, and actually what success means to you, because it doesn't necessarily mean financial gains to everybody. And like you said, if you're not enjoying it, you're working too much, then what is the point anyway? We're all pretty much, most of us want to be self-employed because we want more flexibility, more freedom, and so forth. So it is kind of looking, I think, at what values are important to you and what success means to you, to see, actually, I'm already there. I'm actually enjoying this. I've got quite a lot of freedom. I don't need to go anywhere. I'm happy with where I'm at. So you're completely right. So in terms of, you mentioned, journaling and so forth. Do you have a set morning routine after the journaling? Do you do anything else specific, or anything of an evening, or what else what other tools do you use daily?
For me as a health coach, it's really important, and it's something I really hit home with my clients as we're all so busy. It's really important for me to carve out spaces for nutrition and for like healthy meals and time with my family. That's something that I make a priority. When we're eating on the go, it ups our stress level, it hurts our digestion, it hurts our metabolism. So finding time every single day to carve out those meal spaces in a way that I can disconnect, not be in front of email, and really relaxing. So finding those, for me, it's not even about all at once, but it's about those relaxing points throughout my day, taking a stretch break, walking, reading a book. It's about that consistency throughout the day, taking those small actions that can increase my energy and productivity for the rest of the day.
Fantastic. So what advice could you share from your journey for someone who is looking to start a business, or who is early on in their journey? What kind of words of wisdom would you share with them?
I was looking at the beginning for other people to approve of what I was doing. I was looking for someone to say, you're doing a great job. This is the right thing.
Yeah.
You're on the right path. And ultimately, it doesn't matter what anyone says. it doesn't matter. If I can't get behind my own business, it's not going to be successful. So the very first thing you have to do is bet on yourself, and you have to decide, this is going to happen. I'm going to do this. Come hell or high water, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it work. And you have to bet on yourself, because again, even if you had the approval of every single person on the planet, but you didn't decide you're going to do it, it's not going to work out.
No,
your business.
It means nothing, does it, without you kind of making that decision and believing in yourself.
Yeah. So you have to bet on yourself first. You have to be almost like your first client and say, this is going to work out.
Definitely.
I'm going to do this. This is it.
I once had a coach say to me, you need to be your own biggest cheerleader, because no one else is going to be able to do it without you kind of making that decision and believing in yourself. So completely agree. So fantastic. So where can we find you if we want to look you up, Alyx?
I would love that. I would love to have a further conversation. If there are any people who are nervous or, not sure what to do, have any questions, totally shoot them my way. So there are a couple of ways that we could get in contact. On Facebook, you could find me at Fully Aligned Coaching. It's my business page on there. And you could also follow me on Instagram at Fully Aligned Coach. So those are two super easy ways to get in contact and continue the conversation.
Excellent. I'll add onto the website the links below, so people can obviously find you really easily, and hopefully they'll be getting into contact if they need some help with their health and wellness journey. But it's been absolutely fantastic to speak to you. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. You are such an awesome host. Thank you for having me and this opportunity.
See you soon. Take care, Alyx. Thank you. Bye.